Hello and welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking a stack of research, a very complicated narrative and a whole lot of geological metaphors, and we are strapping in for a journey that takes us to the very edge of the map. We are diving into The Epicenter of Forever by Mara Williams. And I have to say, looking at the source material we've gathered, this isn't just a romance novel.
Oh, not at all.
It feels more like a dissertation on trauma disguised as a love story.
It really is. And that's what makes it such a perfect candidate for a deep dive. On the surface, you have the tropes we all know and love.
Small town, the grumpy guy.
Right. The grump meets sunshine, the forced proximity.
Yeah.
But under the hood, this book is grappling with the physics of emotional collapse.
The physics of emotional collapse. I like that.
It's looking at how human beings, much like the tectonic plates in the setting of the book, accumulate pressure until they snap. It's deceptively heavy.
That creates a fascinating tension right from the start.
Yeah.
We are heading to the fictional town of Grand Trees, California.
Yeah.
Just picture the setting for a second. The text describes it so vividly. You've got these majestic, ancient redwoods, sweeping vistas of the American West.
Massive root systems that look like they've been there since the dawn of time.
Exactly. But, and it's a big but, it's all sitting on top of dangerous, active fault lines.
Which is the central metaphor of the entire narrative. Williams is very intentional about this.
It feels very deliberate.
She's positing that stability is an illusion. You can be a majestic 300-foot sequoia, but if the ground beneath you decides to move, you are moving with it.
And that is exactly where we find our protagonist, Eden Hawthorne.
Exactly. She's living in a state of suspended collapse, just waiting for the next tremor.
So our mission today is to map out this terrain. We want to understand how this story deconstructs the classic return home trope.
Which it does, in a big way.
We need to look at the very messy reality of adult estrangement. Specifically, how do you forgive a parent who doesn't think they need forgiving?
That's a tough one.
And of course, we are going to break down the mechanics of an enemies to lovers arc that happens while the characters are literally trapped in a cabin during an earthquake.
Because, yes, that absolutely happens.
It does.
It's the ultimate pressure cooker. But before we get to the natural disasters, we have to look at the personal disasters. Let's talk about Eden Hawthorne. Because when we meet her, she is not in a good place.
She is definitely not. Eden is 35, she's recently divorced, and she's living in San Francisco. But the defining feature of her character is that she is a former elite ballerina.
Yes.
And that word former is doing a lot of heavy lifting in the text.
It's everything to her. It defines her. She didn't retire. She was, exiled from her body. The backstory here is that she had a catastrophic injury, a compound fracture that got infected.
It got bad. Sepsis, skin grafts, the whole thing.
It ended her career instantly. Just poof, gone. So now she has a permanent limp. She describes herself as having a hardened heart.
She's built walls.
Huge walls. To protect herself because her body failed her. The one thing she trusted, the one thing that was her, betrayed her.
And her foil is Caleb Connell. If Eden is the fragile, broken bird, Caleb is the tree she crashed into.
That's a great way to put it. He's the local grump in Grand Trees. He's got the flannel, the beard, the broad shoulders. He's visually coded as safety.
Right. Strong, silent type.
But he's also carrying significant trauma of his own. He is the self-appointed protector of this town and, crucially, the protector of Eden's estranged mother.
That creates an immediate adversarial dynamic. Caleb isn't just a love interest. He is the gatekeeper to the life Eden left behind.
He's taken the spot in the family structure that she vacated 20 years ago. So right off the bat, you have this territory war.
Okay, let's unpack this properly. We have to start with the inciting incident. In the outline, this is labeled The Brunch from Hell. And honestly, reading the breakdown of this scene, it made my stomach hurt. It is a masterclass in awkwardness.
It's visceral. It's designed to be the ultimate nightmare scenario for a modern woman.
Absolutely.
We are in San Francisco. It's a Sunday brunch. You can just picture it. It's crowded, noisy, clinking glasses, the smell of bacon and overpriced mimosas.
Everyone trying to have a perfect Sunday.
Exactly. Eden is there, trying to be normal, trying to exist in her post-divorce life. And who walks in? Her ex-husband, Jeff.
But he's not alone. That would be too easy.
No. He is holding hands with his girlfriend, Nadia. And the text makes a point to note that Nadia is very, very pregnant.
We aren't talking just announced pregnant. We are talking any minute now pregnant.
Full term. Like, don't sneeze or the baby comes out pregnant.
Yes, that pregnant.
Exactly. And this is where the author does something really smart with the timeline. Eden and Jeff have been divorced for a week.
1 week.
They've been separated for 8 months. Nadia's due on Friday.
The math is horrific. It's doing itself right there on the table in front of Eden's eyes. You don't even need a calculator.
It forces Eden to do immediate forensic accounting on her own marriage. She realizes that the math doesn't just suggest cheating.
It proves it.
It proves a long-term parallel life. Jeff wasn't just slipping up one night after a work party. He was building a family with someone else while still married to Eden.
And the betrayal is layered. It's not just the infidelity, as bad as that is. It's the reason Jeff gave for leaving. This is the part that really stuck out to me in the notes.
Oh, yeah.
He told Eden, "We only hit one note."
That line is just devastating. It's an aesthetic critique of their relationship.
Right. It's not "I don't love you." It's "you're boring."
He's saying, we are monotonous. We lack range. It frames his leaving as this profound existential need for a symphony. It makes Eden feel like she was boring him to death.
Right. He made it sound profound and sad, like it was some tragic failing of them as a couple. But then Eden sees him with Nadia, who was his physical therapist, by the way.
Which is its own level of cliche, but okay.
And she realizes, oh, wait, he wasn't looking for a symphony. He was just looking for someone else.
And notice the detail about the physical therapy. Eden does the detective work on her phone right there at the table.
Which is such a relatable modern reaction.
Totally.
Yeah.
You don't scream, you investigate. You pull out your phone.
You find the receipts.
She looks up the physical therapy clinic. She realizes Jeff has been seeing Nadia for 18 months.
So while Eden was buying his mom's birthday present, while she was doing his laundry, while she was planning their future,
while she was replacing her IUD because Jeff kept insisting he didn't want children.
That is the dagger. That is the part that takes this from sad breakup to villain origin story.
Absolutely. He denied Eden a family, claiming he wasn't the fathering type, and here he is, days away from fatherhood with the woman he's cheating with.
It's a theft of her time and her agency, her biological clock, everything.
It invalidates Eden's entire history. It makes her feel like a sham. She realizes she wasn't a partner, she was a placeholder. And this is where Cassie, the best friend, becomes essential to the narrative structure.
We all need a Cassie. Cassie is the external manifestation of the listener's rage.
Yes.
She's the one who says the things we are all thinking but are too polite to say in a brunch spot.
She is the Greek chorus of anger. She calls Jeff a standard-issue cheating scumbag. She calls him a cockmuppet, which is...
linguistically creative.
It's poetry, really.
Cockmuppet. I'm writing that down for future use.
It's evocative. But her function is to feel the emotions that Eden is too shocked to feel yet.
Right, Eden's in shock.
Eden describes herself as undergoing a system reboot. She's numb. She's disassociated. Cassie is the one wishing for Jeff to catch his anatomy in a zipper.
It balances the scene so it's not just tragic, it's furious. But just as this is peaking, just as Eden is staring at this wreckage of her life, wondering if she should throw a drink or just vanish, her phone rings.
The timing.
And it's not Jeff calling to apologize. It's a neighbor from her hometown, Adelaide Chan.
This is the classic call to adventure. In the hero's journey, the hero often refuses the call initially. But here, the stakes are too high.
There's no time to refuse.
Adelaide tells Eden she needs to come home to Grand Trees immediately because her mother, Nicolette, or Nikki as everyone else seems to call her, is refusing treatment.
And this is a double shock. First, Eden didn't know her mother was sick.
At all.
Second, who is Adelaide to be calling her? And then Adelaide mentions this guy, Caleb. Caleb says she's getting worse. Caleb is worried.
It's the ultimate guilt trip. It's a stranger and some mystery man reporting on her own mother's health.
She has no idea who this Caleb guy is.
Eden realizes she has been completely replaced in the information loop. She is the daughter, biologically, but she is the last to know that her mother has Parkinson's disease.
That's a heavy diagnosis. Parkinson's is degenerative. It's scary. And to find out via a neighbor while you're watching your ex-husband's new life unfold.
It's too much. It's a pile-on of trauma.
So Eden does the only thing she can do. She flees. She gets in her car and drives 7 hours north to Grand Trees.
And the transition to Grand Trees is crucial for the atmosphere. The book describes the landscape as a tumultuous vista.
I love that phrase.
We are moving from the controlled urban grid of San Francisco to a place of giant sequoias, winding roads, and landslide warnings. It's wilder.
It's a place that is physically dangerous. You have to respect the land there or it will hurt you.
Yes. And for Eden, it's psychologically haunted. This is where her parents' marriage fell apart. This is where she broke her leg. and lost her career.
So all of her trauma is rooted in this one town.
She reflects that the town used to feel magical, but now it feels like a graveyard of her past selves.
So she arrives, exhausted, hungry, emotionally battered, and she stops at the Nowhere Saloon. This is where we get our meet cute. Although the notes call it a meat sour, which I think is more accurate.
It's definitely a meat sour. It starts with the visual. She sees a guy at the bar. He's got the beanie, the scruff, the scar on his lip.
The warp?
It's that immediate biological jolt, the bolt of lightning. Even in her grief, her body wakes up.
It's the body reacting before the brain can catch up. She's attracted to him, but then she gets cornered by a drunk tourist named Darren.
Ugh, Darren. Every bar has a Darren.
It's a universal constant.
The archetype of the persistent, unwanted pest who thinks he's God's gift to women. He makes the Garden of Eden joke,
which she has heard a million times. Garden of Eden, can I be your Adam?
It's terrible. It's the worst line. And the mystery man Caleb swoops in. He pretends to know her.
He rescues her.
He says, "There you are, honey," or something to that effect. He saves her from the situation. He buys her dinner. It's a very swoony knight in rugged armor moment.
But there is a massive misunderstanding baked into this interaction.
Huge.
Caleb thinks she is a tourist. He thinks she's just passing through, maybe a hiker or a sightseer.
And Eden, because she's been gone for 20 years, doesn't recognize him at all. She thinks he's just a hot local.
Right. Just some handsome guy in a flannel shirt.
So you have this moment of chemistry that is built on totally false pretenses. They flirt, or at least they sort of vibrate in each other's space.
They do.
But then Eden leaves to go to her mom's house.
Yeah.
And the tab remains unpaid, which becomes a thing later.
Of course it does. Okay, let's talk about this house. Because it is not a normal house. It's a character in itself.
It's an architectural marvel and a symbol. It's a tree house built by her late stepfather, Sonny. It's built around a living ponderosa pine.
So the tree's in the house.
The tree goes right through the center of the living room.
Which is beautiful, but also intrusive. A little messy, I'd imagine.
It's nature intruding on domesticity.
Yeah.
It shows that in this town, you accommodate nature. You don't conquer it. The tree was there first.
I like that.
But the entry to the house is where the meat sour happens. Eden knocks, expecting her mom. And who opens the door?
The hot guy from the bar, Caleb.
And the vibe shift is instantaneous. It's like a switch flips.
Total whiplash.
At the bar, he was protective, flirty, almost gentle. Here, at the threshold of the house, he is hostile. He blocks the doorway.
He physically blocks her from entering her childhood home.
He realizes who she is, and his face just shuts down. He says, "You're Eden," who hasn't bothered to pay her mom a visit in 20 years.
That is not a warm welcome home.
It's the step narrative flipping we see in the outline. Usually in these stories, the biological child is the sympathetic insider, and the stepfamily are the evil interlopers trying to steal the inheritance.
Right, the classic Cinderella setup.
But here, the script is flipped. Caleb is Sonny's nephew. He moved in as a teenager. He's the one who has been taking care of Nikki. He's the one walking the dog, buying the groceries, managing the medication.
So in his eyes, Eden is the stranger. She's the interloper.
She's the one who abandoned her mother. To him, she's an outsider.
He doesn't trust her motives.
Not at all. He accuses her of being a white horse savior. He thinks she's going to swoop in, create chaos, feel good about herself for a few days, and then leave when the reality of the Parkinson's gets ugly.
And honestly, from his perspective, he has a point.
He has a very strong point. Eden did leave. The text mentions she didn't even stay for Sonny's funeral. Or she left early, I should say.
That's a hard truth to swallow. Eden has been telling herself she had valid reasons, her career, her pain. But from the outside, it just looks like abandonment.
Exactly. And then we see the found family unit Caleb has built. It's not just him. It's his daughter, Abby, who is 13.
And the dog.
And the dog, Houdini.
Houdini is described as a chaos agent.
Which is the best description for a dog. Part German Shepherd, part Pit Bull, part uncoordinated Muppet. He's the comic relief, but also the glue.
But seeing this unit, Caleb, Abby, the dog, and Nikki sitting around playing cards, it just breaks Eden.
Because they have inside jokes, they have routines. Abby calls Eden's mom Grams.
Oh, that has to hurt.
It highlights Eden's total isolation. She is divorced, childless, and effectively an orphan in her own family home.
She's been replaced.
Seeing this functional, loving unit that exists in her absence triggers deep envy. It's not just that she misses her mom, it's that she realizes she is unnecessary. They're doing fine without her, or so it seems.
That tension, the outsider in your own home feeling, really comes to a head at the town festival, which has the most ominous name I have ever heard, the Emergency Preparedness Festival.
It is ironic foreshadowing at its finest. The town is literally celebrating their readiness for disaster, hanging bunting on the fire trucks.
Which, in a narrative sense, basically guarantees that a disaster is coming.
You don't put a gun on the mantelpiece if you aren't going to fire it, and you don't have an earthquake festival without an earthquake.
At the festival, we get a glimpse of Caleb as a father. And this is important for the romance arc, right? Because nothing makes a grump more attractive than seeing him be a good dad.
Absolutely. We meet his ex-wife, Lena. She's there with her new husband, Ian. And get this, she is pregnant.
No way. It's the same situation.
It mirrors Eden's situation with Jeff perfectly. The ex moving on and starting a new family. But Caleb's reaction is the polar opposite of Eden's.
He's not bitter.
He is gracious. He's friendly with the new husband. He co-parents with ease. He's a grown-up about it.
It shows Eden that healing is possible. You don't have to be bitter. You can actually be happy for your ex.
But the interaction between Eden and Caleb remains brutal. They get into a massive argument right there at the festival.
In public.
She confronts him about hiding the Parkinson's diagnosis. She feels he had no right to keep that from her. He confronts her about being unreliable, basically saying she lost the right to know when she stopped calling.
And right in the middle of this moral grandstanding, while they're screaming at each other, the foreshadowing pays off.
It does.
Mom Nikki is on the gazebo stairs. She waves at Eden, trying to get her attention. And then her body betrays her.
She falls. The text describes a sickening crunch. And in that second, all the bickering about who loves her more or who has the right to be there, it just evaporates.
With fear.
Just fear.
The hospital scene follows, and this is where the power struggle crystallizes into something legal. The social worker comes in and asks for the attorney, in fact.
Right.
Eden stands up, assuming it's her. She's the daughter.
It's automatic, right?
You would think so. But it's Caleb. He has power of attorney.
That has to be a gut punch.
It is. It's a legal document stating that her mother trusts Caleb more than her. It's written proof of her replacement.
It's official now, but this is where Eden's spine stiffens. The doctor says the recovery from the broken ribs and wrist will take 3 months. Caleb, being the martyr protector, says, "I'll handle it. I'll move in."
Of course he does.
And Eden says, "No, I'll do it."
It feels almost like she does it out of spite. To prove him wrong.
Oh, it's 100% spite initially. Or at least spite is the fuel. She wants to prove she's not the white horse who rides away.
She's digging in her heels.
She commits to 3 months of living in that house, taking care of her mother, just to stick it to Caleb.
And that sets up the forced proximity trope perfectly. Now they are in the same house.
Well, not exactly. She's in the house. He's just always there.
Okay, right. He is there every day, checking in, walking the dog, acting like the man of the house. Eden is sleeping on the couch because she can't handle sleeping in the loft or her mom's room.
And this leads us to the incident the outline refers to as Snugglegate.
Or the naked incident.
It's a classic rom-com setup, but it works because it grounds the characters physically.
So what happens?
Eden is sleeping in her underwear because she fled San Francisco without packing pajamas. She's improvising. Houdini, the dog, decides she needs to be woken up.
With aggressive snuggles.
Yes. He pins her down. He's licking her face. She's screaming because she thinks she's being suffocated.
She thinks she's being attacked.
Caleb bursts in, thinking she's being attacked, only to realize she's being assaulted by love from a very enthusiastic dog, and that she is half naked.
Mortifying. For both of them.
But what's interesting is Caleb's reaction. He doesn't just ogle her. He doesn't get weird. He smiles.
A real smile.
A real, genuine smile. And that smile is the turning point. It breaks the ice. It's the first time Eden sees a crack in his armor.
It makes him human.
She realizes he's not just a stone wall. He's a guy who loves his dog and can appreciate the absurdity of the moment. It humanizes him. It shifts him from the enemy to Caleb.
And at the same time, the town meddler, Adelaide, who started this whole thing, orchestrates a way for them to spend even more time together. She volunteers Eden to help Caleb write grants for the camp he runs, Camp Calibri.
This is a very smart plot device by Williams. It moves the relationship from purely domestic antagonistic to professional competent.
Right. It gives them a different context to interact in.
Eden gets to show off her brain. She's a professional fundraiser. She knows how to get money out of donors. Caleb gets to see her competence, not just her baggage.
And she gets to see a different side of him.
And Eden sees that Caleb runs this camp for underprivileged kids, which makes it very hard to keep hating him.
So they have to go to the camp to inspect the facilities, to see what needs funding.
Exactly.
Huh.
And this brings us to Section 5, the deep dive into trauma.
Okay.
Listeners, grab your blankets, because this is where the story shifts from romantic tension to emotional demolition.
They hike up to Camp Calibri. For Eden, this is walking through a minefield of memories. She spent her childhood summers here.
It's where she fell in love with nature, but it's also where she felt the shame of her mother's affair with Sunny beginning. The camp represents everything she lost.
The good and the bad, all mixed together.
And as they're up there, the tumultuous vista strikes back. The weather turns on a dime.
Of course it does.
We get a storm and a minor earthquake.
A double whammy.
A mass on Pine Tree Falls. It crashes down and blocks the door to the maintenance cabin they've ducked into.
They are trapped. No cell service, wet clothes, temperature dropping rapidly. It's the trapped in a cabin trope, but here it serves a very specific purpose.
It strips them bare,
No distraction.
figuratively and literally, as they end up in towels to avoid hypothermia. But the real stripping is emotional. In the dark, with no escape route, they are forced to exchange backstories.
They have to talk to each other.
Up until now, they've been trading insults.
Yeah.
Now they trade scars.
We find out why Caleb hates earthquakes so much.
Yes. It turns out he grew up in Texas with an abusive stepfather. He fled to Grand Trees at 16 to escape. He was a runaway.
Wow. Okay, that explains a lot.
It explains everything about him. It explains his fierce loyalty to Nikki and Sunny. They didn't just take in a nephew, they saved a runaway teen from abuse.
They give him a home.
They gave him a home when he had none. His scars, the one on his lip, the ribs, they're from that past violence.
Not from, like, chopping wood.
No. And he equates safety with control, which is why he's so rigid. He thinks if he can control the environment, nobody gets hurt.
And then Eden reveals the truth about her leg. It wasn't just a simple break. It was a compound fracture, a botched surgery, sepsis, skin grafts.
She almost died.
And because of that, she lost her identity as a dancer. She was a prodigy, signing contracts at 10 years old, and then nothing.
This is the connection point. They both have bodies that tell the story of their trauma. They both know what it feels like to be broken.
They get it.
And Caleb says something profound here. He says, heartbreaks are the toughest breaks to set.
That line. That's the thesis of the book right there.
It really is. You can set a bone, you can put it in a cast, but how do you set a spirit?
Right.
And then, because they're freezing to death, they have to huddle for warmth.
The classic body heat scenario.
And Caleb calls himself a non-reactive heating pad.
Which, of course, turns out to be a lie.
A total lie. Biology has.
Not bound to.
But it creates this incredible intimacy. It's not just sexual tension, it's safety. For the first time in a long time, Eden feels safe with a man. She feels seen, not for her limp or her failure, but for her resilience.
And that safety is what allows the shift from enemies to lovers. It's earned.
It's earned. It's not just he's hot. It's he understands the pain of being broken. It transforms the physical attraction into emotional reliance.
So they're found eventually.
Eventually they are rescued. And who leads the charge?
Let me guess. Cassie?
Cassie. Because of course she does. She shows up in Grand Trees to surprise Eden and finds the entire town looking for them. She just rolls up into a search party.
That's a good friend.
The arrival of Cassie shifts the tone back to something lighter, but the dynamic has fundamentally changed. Eden and Caleb are no longer adversaries. They have shared a foxhole.
Let's talk about Cassie's subplot here because it adds another layer to Eden's character arc.
It does.
Cassie brings stricter underwear and condoms because she is the eternal optimist about Eden's love life.
As a best friend should be.
But she also drops a bombshell.
She's pregnant.
This is such a complex moment. Her best friend is pregnant. Her ex-husband is having a baby with his mistress. And Eden is standing there, divorced, disabled, and childless.
The text mentions she feels like Miss Havisham, letting the cobwebs grow over her uterus.
It's a brutal image.
It highlights the divergence in their paths. But Eden manages to be happy for Cassie. It's a sign of her maturity, but also her hidden grief.
She's mourning the life she thought she would have.
It's a very specific type of pain, being happy for your friend while your own heart is breaking.
And then there's Abby, the 13-year-old. We have to talk about the kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
The legal eagle.
She wants to sue corporations when she grows up.
Abby is a crucial narrative device. She bridges the gap between Eden and Caleb. She humanizes Caleb to Eden. She says things like, he's the best dad. and she forces Eden to engage.
She asks the awkward questions.
Kids ask the rude questions adults won't ask. She asks Eden, why don't you visit more?
She has zero filter. And that bluntness forces Eden to confront her own avoidance. We also get a heartbreaking interaction with Eden's dad. She calls him, and he admits he never stopped loving Nikki. He's been frozen in time, waiting for her to come back.
That reveals the weight Eden has been carrying. She realized she was the vessel for her father's grief and anger for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
She was being loyal to his pain. That's part of why she couldn't forgive her mother. She felt that forgiving her mother was betraying her father.
Which brings us to the core conflict that reemerges once the dust settles. Eden enters fix-it mode.
Yes.
She's a grant writer, a planner. She wants to solve Mom's Parkinson's.
This is the Be Well initiative. Eden starts researching treatments in San Francisco, dance therapy, top-tier specialists. She builds a proposal like it's a business deal.
She's applying her professional skills to a personal crisis.
She thinks she can project manage the disease.
She suggests Mom move to San Francisco to live with her. It makes logical sense. Better doctors, accessible housing, no earthquakes.
But logic isn't the driving force here. Mom refuses. And she says something that triggers Eden immensely.
What does she say?
She says she is comfortable with her choices.
Oof. That phrase. Comfortable with her choices.
It echoes the choice to leave the family all those years ago. To Eden, it feels like another rejection.
The same wound just reopened.
It creates a fascinating tension between safety and soul. San Francisco represents safety medical care, control, logic. Grand trees represent Soul Sunny's memory, the community, the redwoods, but also danger.
And her mom is choosing soul.
Mom is choosing her soul over her safety.
And Eden takes it personally. She thinks, you're choosing a dead husband and a dangerous town over me. She thinks her mother doesn't love her enough to want to live longer for her.
But what Eden has to learn, and what the book drives toward, is that you can't save people from their own lives. You can only love them within it.
That's a hard lesson.
Control is not a love language, even if it feels like one to Eden. She has to accept that her mother would rather live a shorter, fuller life in the trees than a longer, sterile life in the city.
This realization is the climax of the emotional arc. It forces Eden to let go.
It does.
And that brings us to the major themes of the book. First up, forgiveness.
It's nuanced. The book argues that forgiveness isn't just saying, I forgive you. It's understanding context.
Understanding the why.
Eden has to understand her mother's unhappiness in the first marriage. She has to understand that Caleb's defensive nature comes from abuse. Once she sees the context, the anger loses its fuel.
It's hard to hate someone when you understand their pain. And healing. We have literal broken bones, we have scars, we have nerve damage. But the book suggests that healing isn't about returning to who you were before.
Right. Eden will never be a ballerina again. Her leg will never be perfect. But Caleb's philosophy is the key here.
What's his philosophy?
He says, fill your life with things you love more than you loved what broke you.
That is such a powerful idea. You don't just fix the break, you cried out the pain with new love.
Whether that's a dog, a grumpy lumberjack, or a new relationship with your mom, you dilute the trauma with joy.
Wow.
And finally, identity. Eden starts the book defined by negatives, the ex-ballerina, the divorced wife. She's defined by what she lost.
By her failures, in her own mind.
By the end, she's discovering who she is in Grand Trees. She's a grant writer, a caretaker, a woman who can survive a night in a collapsed cabin.
She's becoming Eden, plain and simple. Not Eden the prodigy, not Eden the victim, just Eden.
Exactly. And that is a much stronger foundation than any tectonic plate.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the epicenter of Forever, I want to leave you with a thought. We all have scars. Some are visible, like Eden's leg or Caleb's lip. Some are internal, hidden under layers of sarcasm or workaholism.
But the question the book asks is, are you letting that scar define your limitation? Or is it just a map of where you've been?
Think about that. What broken bone have you been favoring for years? What emotional limp are you walking with? And what would happen if you finally stopped trying to hide it?
Maybe that's when the real healing begins.
Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.